Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop for another Flea Market Finds episode. This is the Fall Tractor Show, October 2nd, 2021 swap meet. Right out of the gate, ended up getting off of a dealer who, I've seen him the repeated times. He's pretty high on his prices. He takes the time to research. He tags everything individually. So it can be difficult to buy from him. But I did find a couple of small deals here. He had this pair of no-name clamps. I just like the look of them. I think they look pretty well. If they were made by somebody, they did a pretty good job. They are not quite a matched pair. You can see the backs are different. Other than that, nice set of parallel clamps. He had $10 on these. This is a Starrett V-block. It's got an oopsie on the corner there, but I think I have an extra clamp for one of these, so that's why I wanted to grab this. Was $8. And then this pin vise set, which is, oddly enough, he had $15 on it. It's missing one size, but there's actually a small Starrett hole gauge in its place. So that's 33 total, but I got him to take 25. Next dealer I bought from is another gentleman that I buy from regularly. I see him at shows, and he had recently scored a few new items, so I was able to put together this deal. I got this pile right here for $50. Again, a little more than I usually want to pay for this kind of stuff, but yeah, he ended up having this nice little Starrett head. Unfortunately, it's the rod is in there, and I got the spring, but no blade for it. And this is a really little one here, so if you had the blade for it, you'd really have something there. This is a Starrett little depth gauge. This is a Craftsman 4-inch steel square. It appears to be brand new, unused. And this is marked Made in England, which is interesting. This little itty bitty square is just engraved, probably with the former owner's name. So it's a no name. And this one appeared to be also another no name, so I didn't value it too highly at the time. And now, in the shop lights, I can actually see there is a silk screened area on the bottom here, and I'll try and get this to show up on the video because this is a first for me. So if you get the light to hit it just right, you can actually see that this is a Mitutoyo. It's a Mitutoyo 916591, but what makes it a first for me is that it's clearly marked Made in England. I have never ever seen a Mitutoyo item that was made in England. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if most of the squares that I see come out of England are made by either Moore & Wright or Raybone Chesterman. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if both this Mitutoyo Made in England and this Sears Craftsman Made in England are not actually made by Moore & Wright or Raybone Chesterman. And then also included in this $50 deal was this wooden case with an old early Starrett inside micrometer set. I don't remember what number this would be, but it's an earlier one because it's not marked with the number, it's just marked with Starrett Athol. And I think it's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7, looks like 7 rods in here. There's also a Brown and Sharp fishtail or center gauge, and a Starrett 178A small radius gauge set. Another dealer that I've bought from before didn't really have much of machinist tools, but he had a few odds and ends that I liked. The one machinist item I was able to find was this nice Starrett indicator. Works perfectly fine. It's in actually very clean condition. It even had this foam insert, but the box was missing. So I put together a pile and I got this indicator. Again, I don't usually bother with dividers anymore, but he was giving me really good deals on stuff. And this is a Lufkin Divider Set. And what's unusual about these is they're huge. They're over 12 inches. And I also got this. This is the old gas station style tire pressure gauge. So this has got the little glass here with the spring-loaded gauge that goes in here. And what I like about this, I don't even know if it works, but I took a chance on it. What I like about this is a good old school American made one. This is made by the Milton Inflator Gauge Company of Milton Manufacturing Company of Chicago, Illinois. Patent pending. And it says Milton right here too. So if this works, this would probably be far superior to the knockoff aftermarket ones I see now. And he had, this was also nearby with this. So I think this was all part of a set originally. But this is a indicator clamp. I take that back. Usually these are marked Starrett, and this one's not marked, so it might not even be a Starrett, but that's okay. This rod can be removed, screwed in on either side or on the top. It's a handy little indicator clamp. It's got that little groove there. It lends itself to being clamped to a V-way on a lathe. And this chipping hammer he had laying there. And actually, we cut the deal on all that stuff right there. Oh, and this Craftsman, I think this is called the DA sander. I don't remember. But one of my sons is in Voc-Tech, up at the Voc-Tech school. He's in auto body, so I got this for him. And I actually ended up scoring another one from another vendor before I saw this one. So I had bought this one. This one is, I think this is just a Pittsburgh tool, which would make this probably a Harbor Freight deal. Or is that P? I don't know if that's Chicago Pneumatic. So that says P Pneumatic, so it's definitely a cheaper one, I think. But they actually, I tested them and they both seem to work, so that's interesting. I don't remember even what I paid for this one. And then I got this one with all of this other stuff here for $5, and then after, I'm sorry, $15. And then after I saw that, all that stuff, I happened to spot this chipping hammer and I said, hey, would you mind throwing that chipping hammer in? And he said, sure. And I explained that the only reason I wanted this was because my other son, Aiden, who's in metal fabrication, occasionally he uses my welder and he doesn't have his stuff from school. So I figured, well, all right, just get him a cheap chipping hammer that he can keep for himself here. Not have to always be grabbing my chipping hammer. Then I came across a vendor who had these two new quarts of GN4 Pro Honda motor oil. So this is good quality motor oil that you overpay for at the Honda dealer. And I asked how much for the oil, and he said, I usually get $1 a piece for my oil. So I was like, oh, all right, great, I'll take those. I even asked him if he had any more, because I would have taken a case at that price. So, you know, you're always going to make sure they're sealed. So this one, at first I thought it was opened, but then I realized that had just partially cracked, so it's not completely. So this is actually unopened, and I can actually tell just by looking at how clean the oil is and smelling it that this somebody probably just opened that to check. Oh, look, so I was just saying, This came from New England Cycle Works Incorporated, and they had it on their shelf for $8 a quart. I think that's hilarious because this doesn't even say on here whether or not it's synthetic. It just says 4-stroke motorcycle oil. Then I came across a dealer who had a bunch of old tools in, those old wooden toolboxes and stuff. And there was another couple of guys there that were going through it, looking at old planes and all kinds of stuff. And before they got to this, I was able to snag this. And I looked around for other stuff to pull with it and couldn't find anything else. I'm not really a woodworking tool guy normally, but this caught my eye. I liked the shape of the handle and everything. I knew it was a cabinet scraper. I've never seen one by this company. This is the Bennett Manufacturing Company. It's got a patent date of January 1909 on it, and it looks like it's from Buffalo, New York. So unfortunately the chrome's in really rough shape on it here, but I got it for, I wanted to get it for $5, and he asked for $7, and I said, yeah, sure. Not gonna lose that over $2. Yeah, so it looks like I did okay on that. There's the same exact scraper that I have, sold for $30, and the buyer paid $11.85 shipping. So I do have one contact locally who's a collector of woodworking tools, and I'll offer this to him for $20, and we'll go from there. I was just getting ready to put these large Lufkin Dividers away. I decided I'm going to hold on to them since I don't have a pair this large, and these are handy for laying out circles or arcs on sheet metal and other large sheets. Anyways, I noticed something about these that I thought was kind of cool, and it's the fact that the way that this adjustment knob is designed, it's a 2-piece, and it is made in a way so that when it's under tension, it works like a regular adjustment knob, and you can adjust it fine. But if you relieve the tension on it, it's made so that when this cone piece drops out like that, this now is free to move along the whole thing. So it's a quick adjust. So there it is, wide open. So anyways, I thought that was kind of cool. I've never seen a pair that did that. This next item was one of the first things I bought early in the morning. Guy was unloading his stuff, and he had one of those landscape type trailers, and I happened to spot, as he was pulling stuff out, down underneath, I spotted this Huot, or for lack of I don't know, I never know how to say this thing, H-U-O-T. But anyways, this early version of a Huot numbered drill index, and it's got this old label on here, which, oh yes, love it when I can get that off without destroying the original little Huot sticker on there. It's got a little bit of a ding in it over here, nothing to get too upset about, especially since I scored this for $15. So I actually think he wanted a little more for this, and I think it had some taps in it, and ended up working out a deal where I got this for $15 without the contents, because I don't need any more taps really. So it's not perfect, but I mean it's $15 for a number of can't really complain about that. So we got this one little area in the front here that's kind of sticking up. Oh, looks beautiful, I tell you. I was just putting that drill index away, and remembered that like a couple of years ago, I scored that same exact style and vintage index in fractional, and they stack on top of each other, which is kind of neat. Almost forgot about this thing. The guy that I got this lot with the inside micrometer and various other stuff and those squares and stuff, I put together a deal. as I was walking away, he said, "Oh, you don't want this?" And I was like, "Hey, yeah, well." And, you know, it doesn't turn on, so he's like, "It probably just needs a battery." And I was like, "Yeah." So, you know how many times I've bought stuff like this, it probably just needed a battery, and then you put the battery in and it's broken. So I said, "Yeah, probably not interested." He said, "No, not even for $10. So I looked at it and I was like, you know, for $10, I'll take a chance on it. It's a more than likely Chinesium. It's actually completely unmarked. I don't see any manufacturer on it anywhere. It just has a really cheesy look to it. And it's a 12-inch digital height gauge. You know, it seems to move smoothly, but a lot of good that's going to do you if it doesn't work. So I've got two doors on the side here, door number 1 and door number 2. So one of these is going to be a battery, and one of them is probably a place for a port to hook up a cable for data. All right, that screw is out, and that is not coming out very easily. Let's see if this one comes out easier. Oh, much easier. All right, well, that's the port. That's funny. It looks like a mini USB. Huh. All right. Well, let me put... Oh, I just dropped the screw. All right. I'll be back in an hour when I find that screw. Several days later. No, actually, I happen to find it pretty easily. So, there's the battery draw. Just one battery, eh? Okay, that's good. Hey, a CR2032. I might have an extra one of those. All right, here's the moment of truth. Oh, look at that. It actually turns on. Oh, seems to actually work. Let's see. What is that measuring? Millimeters, probably. There we go. No, that's millimeters. 24.7. 617. The heck? Well, that's interesting. I zero it and I get a 7. So since some of the segments appeared to be out, I just pressed on the screen lightly to see if that might be the culprit. And when I did that, it went all crazy and then went out completely. See, look. So what we've got here is one of these deals where it's not making, more than likely it's just the LCD screen is not making good contact with the PC board. Maybe some stuff got in there. I'm not liking that when I press it though and turn it on, it's not reading. No way it's shutting off. Oh, it's saying set. So I've got this in it. I must have hit a mode button or something. This probably wouldn't take much to fix up.